500,000 vacant welding jobs by 2022, which is right around the corner, family. Hello, my name is Joe Brown, aka Black Feniks, and I'm the owner of HogOn Welding and the founder of HogOn Welding University and the founder of Welding and Hip Hop. And I wanted to talk to you about this opportunity because I was doing some research this morning, and those numbers and how they are now starting to pay. The pay scale has changed for welders, for beginners, for those who are just jumping into the field. I read an article that said, depends on where you're located at, there are starting out welders coming fresh out of school or out of Votech or out of a training facility. If you can pass their shop test, you can start out anywhere from $16 to $26 an hour. That's very good money, family, very good money. And the cool thing about it is that the greatest need of the welding is in the manufacturing and the fabrication. Now they do need, there's big needs in the field because you always need the installers. But right now they have a lot of things they're trying to build. And who does the building? The fabricators, the welders in the shop. So the shop welders having a manufacturing or some type of fabrication shop, those are the ones that has the bigger need from what I'm seeing right now. And I wanted to put some highlight on that because most of those shops, most of those manufacturing shops and fabrication shops, most of them have in-shop tests, meaning they have someone in there, a CWI that will welding test on what they're welding on. You pass their welding test and you can work for them. Now, they like you to come in already knowing how to weld. Now, they do have programs in different companies that will actually teach you. But for those who want to gain that top dollar, I think it's wise to go and get that experience. And I wanted to talk about that experience because when I teach my independent welding courses, and I call them independent welding courses because they're based on the individual independently. I don't have any funding by different schools or by the government or nothing like that. I'm doing everything individually on my time being a tutor to help someone get to that next level. But I'm actually cutting out the middleman. So that way you don't have to go to a college and waste all that money and end up in debt. You don't have to spend 9-14 months in a course and still try to work. You can actually still have a job, do this part-time, come in, get your welding classes so that way you can go on and knock it out to be able to get the job you want. Or you can have downtime. You got a week, you got 2 weeks and you say, hey, I want to come down, I want to learn MIG welding, flux core, stick welding, TIG welding. And that way you can actually be able to build your career independently. See, a lot of times we get caught up in the system, wanting the system to take care of us, family, wanting the system to sign everything off without reading anything. And then when things go left field, we'd be like, I didn't know that because we was just trying to get a freebie. Sometimes when it comes to building our independence and building our careers, our life, where we want to go, it takes some initiative. Schools want you to depend on the system. The school system is designed to teach you how to depend on the system for a job. Well, the goal is we want to use these jobs to build our own independence. But while there is a great need in people looking for work, you can find some stability with some long-lasting companies. Some companies come through in, they get a little bit going, and then they lay you off. You know how it goes. But you can build your independence. Everyone that I have met that's a welder came from a different background. They like to hunt, fish. They like to watch sports. They love outside games and camping and things like that. They like to go on those ATV rides. They want to, everybody come from a different standpoint. And every area we come from, everything that we're passionate about, believe it or not, welding is involved in it somehow. So if you can offer a product, offer a service that can help with that need of welding, there you go. And I think that it's important that we learn it now, especially for those who really always had the desire and they was thinking that they had to have a GED to do it. They was thinking they had to go to college to do it. They was thinking they had to go through these stepping stones. You really don't if you really want it. There's a lot of tutors. There's a lot of independent programs, and there have some programs where I know that they have in Tulsa for sure, where they have programs where you don't need none of that. They have like people that came out of prison or out of jail, they trying to get a second chance. They run different programs throughout the year for like a 2 week or a 4 week welding course. You know what I mean? Where they can get some experience and they help them get a job on some of those opportunities. So I think right now we really need to take the need of welding and realize what is being done. You have Elon Musk building things, the future, and everything consists of welding and putting metals together to be able to stand and withstand pressure, to drive down the road, to fly, whatever it is. Welding is involved, family. So I think that for those who have been thinking about a second career, those who've been saying, you know what, I really want to do something, but I don't know. And if you're good with your hands, I honestly think welding is the way to go. And I say that because there's so many things you can do. You can build your own shop. This is actually a garage that I built. It's a garage attached to my mom's house. She actually had the carport. So I enclosed it and I made it where I can still pull the vehicle in. I can still do welding classes. I have the floor as a lay down area to be able to build and do fabrication. So I'm designing this off of a skill that I learned, welding. And I learned welding in prison. You know, at the time I was incarcerated and my mom introduced welding to me. I remember her coming down and saying, she know I had to come up with something that will replace the street money because I grew up around hustlers. And so she said, man, I got to come up with something. And I seen this welding and I seen how much money they make and how they travel and all these things. And I was like, maybe you should think about it. And she literally family went to the law, not the law library, but the library, the public library. And at that time, and printed out some papers and sent it to me. Probably sent me maybe 6 to 10 pieces of paper front and back on welding, different positions, when it started, you know, different things like that. Talked about Tulsa Welding School, shout out to Tulsa Welding School. And it gave me some insight. It gave me a passion. It gave me something to strive for because in prison, you know, at that time I was 17 and I got locked up at 16. So I've been locked up for a minute and I still got 9 years to do because I had to do a decade. And I'm like, well, what I'm gonna do? And I was like, well, I'm gonna get my GED. I got to do more than that, which I did get it though. You know, I had the time, you know. And so I went to Votech for 14 months and I got combination of welding. But it was all based on that seed that my mom planted in me. She seen that I needed something coming from where I'm from. And the crazy part about it is, family, I always enjoyed building. I always worked on bikes, go-karts, little scooters, whatever. I was always into something growing up. And I'm in my hometown now. After 27 years, I'm in McGee, Arkansas. And it's a lot has changed, and it's a lot of things that I didn't know that existed here when I was here, because when you're young, you don't look at certain things. You don't look at the development of the community. You don't look at the real estate. You don't look at jobs. You don't look at businesses. You don't look at the lack in the area, what it needs. You just live. And I remember my project, Shady Lane, it was some place where I wanted to go to hang out. And we didn't have a lot of direction. So I figured now that I'm back, I can actually give some direction. My goal is to teach independently. And I know I can't change the world, family, but my goal is to do what I can by helping each one teach some, because I think it's going to be more than just teaching one person. We need to teach a lot because we're behind, family. We need that assistance to actually get us to that next level, help us have better opportunities instead of just looking for rundown jobs or getting a situation where you're being stepped on or belittled. You can actually have a career. And that's why I think welding is very good, because it has, I'm not gonna lie, family, it has opened up doors for me in many places. I have traveled, I have seen places that I never thought I would see due to welding. And I'm 41 years old now, and I'm teaching it, I'm doing fabrication, and I'm still have my eyes open for independent contracts to go out and do installs. I enjoy the field. I really enjoy installing. I enjoy field welding. I enjoy burning 7018 flux core. That's what I like doing. So, you know, when it comes to welding, I really think that we overshadow it. We think that, you know, it's real dangerous. It can be, you know, the sparks, the flames, but a lot of things that we do are dangerous. Just driving to work can be dangerous. So I think that taking advantage of this welding career right now, taking advantage of welding, can open the door for you. especially those who are hands-on, those who like to get involved. Man, welding is where it's at right now. So I just wanted to share because I think that especially coming from rural areas, we don't have a lot of great opportunities to learn. We have different schools that offer different things and we have to go through the system. But family, I think that it's time for us, and I want to state this publicly. If you believe in you, it's time for you to put your money where your mouth is. It's time for you to stand on what you're going to do. It's time for you to show actions. And, I was telling a associate the other day, I said, you know what? People use the word love and they say, oh, I love you, I love you. They use it like it's a noun, family, like it's just a person, place, a thing. But love is an action word. So in order for me to really love you and really love you, I have to show actions. So, and that's what I'm doing. I really love my community. I really love my people. I really love helping and giving assistance and giving information that could actually help someone. And in order for you to do that, it had to come from a pure place. So I don't know how everything is going to go. We being in my hometown, educating, but I do know I have the passion, I have the heart for it. And I know if I can change one, that one might change 1,000. If I change 1,000, one of those might change 10,000 or a million. You know what I mean? So my goal is to just give someone a better opportunity. I enjoy doing it. It's a good stress reliever when you're able to focus on a task, build something, see it start, see it finish. I mean, it's a wonderful thing, man. Even working on my mom's house renovations, even though I've been doing a look welding, which is like working on the only welding I had done in my mom's house has been on the garage. I welded the garage door in, the frames. Other than that, it's been a lot of carpentry work, plumbing, electrical work, flooring, sheetrock, painting, just doing the regular handyman type of things. But it's all based on things literally that I learned from welding. So I converted welding over to carpentry because I learned that once you learn a certain skill, especially like welding, a foot is a foot, an inch is an inch. Once you learn how to square something, read a tape measure, keep it level. Those are the things that can cross over. And I had a guy ask me, he said, man, Joe, I didn't know you was a carpenter. I said, no, I'm a welder, but I know the only difference between me and a carpenter is actually the experience that he has actually just doing that and the tools. So if I can get the tools, I can learn everything else because I'm a welder. I know how to plumb things, square things. It's pretty much the same. I just got to get different tools and learn a few different tricks. But I think that it's all about us applying ourselves because sometimes you have to become what you need. And right now, family, it's 2021. It has been a year. I know for some people it has been crazy trying to see loved ones passing, the pandemic, work situations, jobs. I mean, it has been a whirlwind of a year. But coming into 2022, it might end up being about the same. But we know that we got better opportunities because there's a lot of companies that need work. There's a lot of businesses that need things that requires welding. So I don't know where you're at, what part of the country, if you're in the United States, in the States or not, but welding is very important, I think, everywhere. And I think if you would tap into it, that you could be able to open up and change a life for not only you, but for your family. You can teach your niece, nephew, son, daughter, cousin, whoever want the information, family. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm willing to help anyone that's willing to learn. Someone asked me, oh, are you only teaching black people? Sometimes it blows my mind when you stand up and you're a representative for your people. People think that you're racist because you're trying to help your community. Everybody helps their community, family, but no one stands up truly for the black community without trying to put someone else in, like saying all lives matter. We know that, but we know that right now Black lives matter. We know that we are dying. We know that we are misinformed and uneducated. Excuse me, let me come in and check in and see what you're saying. I appreciate it. I won't stop. I'm gonna keep giving it, man. My goal is to lead by example. And I know the only way for me to do that is to do it. And sometimes, you can't push anyone to do anything. And I learned this, family, and I want to share this with you. When I was growing up, they used to say, Don't wake a sleepwalker, because that sleepwalker may injure you and may injure themselves. And I think when we're living in this generation, we are literally dealing with a lot of sleepwalkers, a lot of people who don't fully know who they are, a lot of people who look for direction from someone else. And if the weather changes and they go that way, if this bag come out, then they go that way. But there are very certain people that we see that fully firm on what they stand on. But we do still have those in the black community. And a lot of them we don't even hear about. But we do have them. We do have people that is really trying to help really give back. Since I learned welding from a rural area, now that I'm back, I want to be able to help someone travel like I travel. And I still want to travel because I'm not done. I love to travel and do different jobs and have fun. And, to me, those are things that brings me peace. Seeing my grandbabies, being able to provide for my kids, being able to just go see something different, the simple pleasures of life. But I do know this, welding can do all those things. It can help you gain different characteristics because you learn different principles that you can actually apply to your life. You know, Staying consistent, learning how to finish something to the end, starting something and finishing it. Because a lot of times we'll start something, family, and we don't finish it. And we need to learn how to finish something that we started. My mom's house renovations, I'm still working on it. But I know for those who have been following me, they can see the progress I've been making. And it has been a task. You run into issues here and there. And I like to say that the vision stays the same, but the goal might change. You might have to tweak it a little bit and do something different, but the goal that you have never changed. And that's why I want to say that there are nearly 500,000 welding jobs throughout the US, and especially in rural areas. And like I say, I just wanted to give a shout out. I'm in Arkansas, family. So if anyone want to learn some independent welding, some MIG welding, which is a very asset right now, MIG welding, flux core welding actually are two of the top because it deals with fabrication, it deals with manufacturing. So those two processes can get you in the door, can give you an opportunity to learn, can give you an opportunity to make great money. You can come in making $30,000 to $40,000 a year. Come in off of investing under $1,000 or $1,000 in your education. So if you do, just think about it. If you invest $1,000, $750 in one of my courses, that investment can make you $30,000 to $40,000 a year, and it goes up because as you gain experience, as you learn more, as you critique it, you're getting better and better and better. So I think we have to learn, like I say, how to invest in ourselves, how to put our money where our mouth is, how to really stand on what we want to do. No matter what's going on around us, no matter who said this or who said that, we have to say, okay, this is what I want. And right now, family, I don't know what city or state you're in, but you should just do some Googling, just do some searching. We all have these devices called cell phones, and you'll be surprised how powerful that cell phone is that you have. Use it to your advantage. Just don't use it to see what's going on social media and get discouraged and say, man, people doing this, so-and-so doing that. I'm here, and look at my life. Don't look at it to get discouraged. Find ways out to educate yourself. Find ways out to expand your horizon. And welding, honestly, is the way to go. So for those who want to learn independently in the state of Arkansas or surrounding areas and would like to learn from me, I teach in my hometown, McGee, Arkansas. Plus, I also travel and teach. So I have had clients who want me to come to their facilities or their homes and teach them on their time. I do that too. So I think that whatever it is to fill the gap, because I like working for the people. And I always like to say, I'm willing to work with the man, but I don't want to work for the man, because when you work for the man, he steps on you, in my personal opinion. So I like to use the system as a stepping stone, get the education, and then I can start offering a service to the community. Then you can start your business and you can be hiring people. But there is a system, and if you allow the system to take advantage of you and turn you into a slave, that's what it will do. Any job will do that to you. You know what I mean? So it's all based on the individual. Everybody ain't meant to be a CEO or own a business, I understand. But everybody is meant, to me, in my personal opinion, to have a good life, to be stable, to enjoy their families, to actually have an income to travel and to do some things. You know, you be on certain jobs, you see them taking trips, loving their family, buying different things, pulling up in new cars, and you ain't doing none of that. So I think that it's time for us to start doing some of that by investing in ourselves, family. Now is the time. Welding is the way to go. I know there's different programs throughout the U.S. There's probably different people that offer certain things. Get in on some of that education. Get in on some of that education that can change your life. We're coming into a new era. There's going to be a lot of things that's going to be made and fabricated. You can get involved in it. You can start, and you can start your own. But we got to start from somewhere. Everybody got a big dream, a big goal. They want to do big things, but don't nobody want to start. And I say that we have to start from somewhere, family. We really do. At this moment, I actually have a GoFundMe going to help me educate some of the black youth in the area from 12 to 24. And I target the age from 12 to 24 because that is the ages that they say that between 12 and 24, the black youth will either be dead, addicted to drugs, or be in prison. And I want to change that, family. We need to change that. So that's why I offer for funding. I ask for funding for that so I can help them, because I know I can't do it by myself. It takes time and money to buy materials, lights, gloves, get them everything they need. And I'm focusing on the age from 12 to 24 because if we can break that chain, then we can open up a bigger door and we can help them. If we can get them young, can you imagine getting someone 14 and 15 years old into welding? By the time they turn 25, 10 years later, man, they're a master. They can be able to do anything. So I think if we can start young, give them something to strive for, give them something to want to be, give them some motivation. And I think that we have to start somewhere. So that's why I started that GoFundMe. My goal is, I put a goal up for $10,000 because I say with $10,000 we can fund 10 welders, and that's funding 10 welders between the ages of 12 to 24. And that's not just we teach them how to weld, but we also in that 10,000 we're going to buy their PPE. So we're going to make sure we get their gloves. We're going to make sure we get their hard hats. I mean, not their hard hats, but their welding hoods. Yeah, all the things they need to go in and get a job. Now, when it's come for their boots and things, boots and clothes, that's something they have to do. But we're going to get them their PPE, get them started, have them, because, you know, it's nothing like, I remember going to school on the first day. And you go to school on the first day, normally you have a couple days of new outfits or about a week. Every day you looking good, you know what I'm saying? And it's nothing like to pull up to a new job with your gloves, with everything you need, saying you're ready. You know what I mean? So I want to motivate them that way, so that way they can have something to feel proud to say, hey, I got my bag to go get some money. I can use this bag to actually make a bigger bag. And we have to start from somewhere. So that's why I'm offering. That's why I got the GoFundMe going right now. So for those who want to partake of it, I will leave the link in this video. But my goal is to help and to educate and to show that welding is the way to go. I don't care who you are, where you are, what situation you're in. If you have the strength, try it out. A lot of the welders, a lot of the seasoned welders return from the ages of 50 to 60 years old. Most welders call it quits. So it all depends. I have seen welders in the field at 70 years old, no lie. I really have. And he had his own business and he enjoyed field welding. He enjoyed doing what he was doing. So all I want to say is, if welding is something that you have been thinking about, you should do some Googling, you should do some research. If you are in Arkansas, if you are in Hog City, it's like we like to call it, if you are in Arkansas, if you are Razorback Bay, and if you are wanting to learn, wanting to get some independence, want to use your money to gain a skill, a career, hit me up. My business line is 870-501-1974. That's 870-501-1974. Or you can hit me up on email. That's HogOnWelding@gmail.com. That's HogOnWelding@gmail.com. Or you can visit the website also at www.HogOnWelding.com. That's www.HogOnWelding.com. Y'all be blessed. Keep prospering. HogOn.